Are you doing less than $150,000 in your lawn care business? If so, Lawn Care Launch is running a 21-day boot camp classroom that starts on March 2nd for just $100. Inside this boot camp, you're going to learn how to create your vision, brand and register your business, organize your operations, learn how to price, and also advertise your services. We're going to send you a workbook that will tell you what to do day by day, and the Lawn Care Launch team will help keep you accountable in our live weekly boot camp meetings. This boot camp is going to lay the proper foundations for your business, and it's going to help you to avoid all of the problems that we see large lawn care businesses making. If this is you, click the link in the description. Spots are limited to just 40 people. Join now, secure your spot. If you're not completely satisfied, we have a no questions asked, money back guarantee, and I really look forward to seeing you there.
Hello, and welcome to the Joey Coberly Show. Joey is the owner of Lawn Care Launch, a company that helps lawn care businesses grow through education, web design, and financial management. Join us as we discuss topics to help you buy back your time and become the leader your company needs. And now, here's your host, Joey Coberly.
Kevin, what's going on? We're doing the, we got the 3-day fast going. How's it going on your end? We're on day 3 here. It's my first one. I don't know how many you've done at this point, but this is something else, man.
So we're doing the Gary Brecka fast, and this is my second one officially of Gary Brecka. I've done others in the past where I'm just like, I'm just not going to eat. I'm just going to drink. The most I've done was a little over 5 days. But big difference between the ones in the past, and Stacy and I talked about this yesterday. So 1, we're up in the cold here, and we'll get to that in a minute. 2, I'm not as active as I normally am. So man, you think about food a lot. when I'm on the turf, it's like, it's just go time. And I really don't eat that much during the turf times, other than breakfast, a snack, beef stick or something during the day, and then dinner. So that was much easier. Stacy agreed. She wanted to do it with us, but she knew with our idle time, and in Connecticut, as cold as it is, we're locked inside. So now your mind is just racing. And I go out. I've been working on our Toyota Camry, doing a bunch of repairs to that. I'll go out and work in the cold, come in. So I've been somewhat busy. Stacy's been in the office and doing some other stuff. So I see how it would be challenging for her. So this one is definitely more difficult. The mind game is definitely more difficult because I'm really thinking about it. And I don't know, I think everyone on social media heard we're doing it and sending me food ads. Because I mean, some of these nasty pictures of food look amazing.
Right now. I know, dude. I had, so we kept my little cousin the other day. She stays with Neil sometimes, and she had this big old thing of SpaghettiOs, and like, I don't even want SpaghettiOs, but yesterday it was looking fire. Like, I would have took that over anything. You get
cold or hot. Yeah. It's all good. So when I did it last time, we went extra time. So technically I'm up at 6:00 this evening, and that'll be a complete 72-hour fast. We had the same schedule last time, but I carried it over one more night because I was working. I was in the groove. I'm like, yeah, I'm going to do another day. So I got my first drink, meal, whatever, which is a cold pressed juice. You have to ease yourself back into this. And Stacey had all her stuff lined up, just like she's done. She's done an amazing job. She has everything timed out for me. She has my water measured out. She has everything. So we did a cold pressed juice, and then about 2 hours later, and I literally was going to work. And I remember this day specifically because as soon as I got done with the workload that I had, which was kind of a heavy half day, we were leaving for Equipped. She was getting everything ready to leave. I had this avocado on my center console with olive oil and sea salt. I'm like, all right, whatever. I took the first bite of that. It was like an amazing cake and a prime rib at the same time. Like, oh, this is so good.
I can't wait. I'm going to try that tomorrow. Like, so this is my first one. I'm getting the avocado toast. I'm excited about it. I've been thinking about it for 2 days.
Yeah.
I was going to ask you what we're going to talk about today. I was like, well, why don't we just talk about food? That sounds like fun to me, you know? So
I don't want to keep rubbing it in, but let's see what else is going on. We are a whopping 35 degrees and it feels like summer. That's how cold we've had. So
Yeah.
My newsletter has it stated. I'm working on that. The month isn't over, and it sounds like we're probably not going to do it, but we've almost tied our coldest winter, the second place coldest winter. So there's been one. There's another one where just a couple point of degrees, which would be an average of, we're 22.9 right now for the average winter, and we will be 20. We need to beat 22.5, and it looks like next week is going to be warmer, so that'll take those averages right away. So we'll be in third place, but it's been that cold since 2019 was the coldest, and then the other one was, I'll have to look at it. Maybe, I'm sorry, 1919. Yes, and then 2019, or 2018. So we've been really, really cold, locked up. People don't get it when you're dealing with this weather and up here, and I'm sure there's plenty of listeners that do. Seasonal depression is a real thing. It's tough. When you're short in daylight, you're locked in the house, it's cold. When you go outside, you're bundled up, you really can't do anything. Stacy still tries to go for walks. I'm out working. 35 degrees feels amazing. It's like that avocado it's going to feel like. So dude, it's good. And we'll start seeing, I had a call with, he's not a client of ours, Vince. I'm going to give him a shout, Keeping It Green. We had a nice call. We chat all the time. He's from Jersey. He's a dual operator. So he is a full-time law enforcement officer and also owns a very successful fertilization business. So we talked for about 45 minutes this morning, which is awesome. And he was in the same rut. And he goes, we just need a little breath of warm air just to get things going mentally, because we're literally locked in. Or you go outside and you freeze to death.
Yeah, I mean, you've seen the studies where it's like people are more depressed in like these cold or overcast areas than like sunshine. I mean, it's crazy how much it affects you.
Yeah, Alaska is the #1 suicide rate
state.
Really?
I did not know that.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, it's been hot here this week. I want to say this week it's been mid 70s.
It's beautiful
for a while.
That's beautiful.
It's nice. Yeah. We'll see how long it stays that way. Once it starts getting the mid 80s, it starts getting a little uncomfortable. But yeah, I don't know. It's still February, so I feel like we'll have pretty good weather here for the next 3 or 4 months.
We still have a ways to go, but it'll do a couple things. It'll for all the guys in the business, a hint of warm air will start the phone calls and the email requests, which is good. People really have been locked down. This week I received 2 of my fertilizer deliveries, which was a big delivery. And the shop was supposed to be ready so they would go in there, and it's not. So we had to take some extra precautions with that. But there's a lot of product in stock, which I plan ahead of time. And it's not unusual. I do it every year, just not having the facility ready for it. A little nerve-wracking, but it's all good now. So it's been a very busy week. Yesterday, I literally I had to Google it during the fast, and up in the cold weather, you're going to notice it much more. But I'm like, man, I've got the chills. Am I coming down with something? And I didn't notice it last time because I was outside in 85-degree weather working my tail off. I Googled, and it's very common for fasting to be very more sensitive to the cold during the process and all that. Your body doing all kinds of crazy things. It was a pretty good article. So I'm like, okay, I'm not getting sick. I'm just not eating food.
I felt a little colder than usual doing this.
Isn't that weird?
The whole thing's been interesting. Like the first day I got this killer headache. I don't know if that was caffeine withdrawals or whatever, but the last half of the day was my roughest day. And like I just went to bed early. And then the next day I felt great. But I was just feeling kind of weak, and I thought about food a lot more than I did. The first day I didn't think about food. Today, I'm a space cadet. Like I was trying to write this script out, and I'm like, I can't even think about, what we should talk about. Even though I did my outline already, I'm trying to like dial in a little bit more. And I was just spacey trying to like even setting up the podcast because I had it all disconnected. I was like, okay, where does the audio cord go again? Like I just have to think about things longer. But yeah, just today I would just say I'm a space cadet for sure. Now you've done the 3 and the 5 day fast. How would you compare and contrast those two? Why'd you start doing the 3 day as opposed to the 5 day?
Because it actually was legit, and it was a certain schedule to follow, like the bone broth and the H2 tabs if you have them, and the X amount of hydration that you drink. When I would be out in the field, it's tough because bathrooms are limited. So if you drink that much water on top of, the 5-day, it was hot out, so I was dehydrating. So my consumption of liquid really went not just through urine. So now it's like I'm at the bathroom every 15 minutes taking a leak. It's like, let's go. This is way too much for me. I don't drink this much ever. I drink diuretics, coffee.
It's a
and
lot,
that's it.
man. Like it's
Yeah.
3 liters a day for everybody listening. And I'm just tired of drinking water at this point. Like I've done unflavored element. Like I need some flavor. Like honestly, I get you. I was looking forward to brushing my teeth this morning just to have some flavor.
That's a good one.
It's like baking soda flavor. Whatever.
That's funny.
Anyway, yeah, I cook the family breakfast every morning, so I'm just sitting there, cooking some sausage and bacon and everything. It's just
that's
me.
tough.
It's killing me. We went to the basketball game last night. They got hot dogs and pizza everywhere. I'm on like the end of day 2. I'm just like, man, but whatever. I told them to do their worst. Like you guys, they're like trying to be nice around me. I'm like, nah, just, flaunt it, eat it, whatever.
So Stacy was yesterday evening's dinner. She was nice. She went out into the sunroom and ate so it wouldn't smell. I mean, she had salmon and I'm like, oh, it smells so good. I'm like, but again, it's what it's meant to be.
Yeah, it's been enjoyable. It's different. It's hard or hardish. I wouldn't say it's necessarily hard. It's just kind of like you realize how much how boring life can be when you take food out of the equation. It makes life a lot more exciting. Like as weird as that sounds, it's just my days are a little bit more boring now. I don't have like lunch to look forward to or whatever. I don't know. But I wouldn't call it hard. It's more of like I would say it's like an annoyance almost. It's like I constantly look at food. I'm like, oh, that looks good. I'll grab some, and then half a second later, I'm like, oh yeah, I can't have that.
So basically, what's happening in the scientific world is we're starting ketosis, and it takes a lot longer than 3 days to get into pure ketosis or starting of that. And what that means is your body is starting to consume its fats within its body from its pancreas, and our brain is run on all of these fats that we have as well. So when people say eat a no fat diet or whatever, it does trigger things. So when you said you were having scatterbrain, you're causing that on purpose by some of the things going on. Now, people that go into ketosis and are athletes, they are still eating certain proteins. They're dead ringing any sugar out of it, any carbohydrates out of it whatsoever. So you're still feeding, and your liver's still producing stuff to feed your brain, so you're not as airheadedy as we are right now, if that's a word. But that's what's happening in the scientific world. It's pretty neat. And and I hate to say this, back when I was in CrossFit, I really was into testing my body in so many different ways, physically, mentally, and then this whole part of both together of going on a 5-day fast just to see what would it do, what's going on. And I will say, I think it's easier when I was in shape to do it than not being as in shape as I am. I have noticed already reduction, and I did with the last one just before Quip, reduction in my body mass size, let's say belly area. I would have to do quite a few more days to get rid of what I need to get rid of, but it's amazing how much you can deplete your body quickly when you're not putting in all the stuff that's just clogging you up of carbohydrates, incorrect carbohydrates, the processed food that we eat. I had a little bit of headache as well, and I'm attributing mine more to sugar because I'm not a sugar fiend, but after not working in the field, I mean, Stacy's baking, and there's great stuff here. Banana bread, homemade banana bread. I mean, how can you can't say no to that. You have to have that. So
it's rough. It's rough here too. We have so my sister-in-law is married to a chef, and he delivers food to us every week. So he's like a chef at the Portofino on the beach, and every week he delivers us food. And so I've got all this good food in the fridge constantly, and it's just like this week was Mediterranean bowls just sitting there.
Oh,
it's like
come on!
My favorite meals is Mediterranean. So anyway, yeah, that's where we're at here.
It's almost over.
It's almost there.
We'll waste some time on a podcast, and next thing you know, you can take a nap and it'll be all done.
So would you recommend the fast to everybody that's listening? Like being in the field, doing what you do, combining that with the fast. We're big on health and fitness on this podcast. So like, what's your recommendation to everybody listening in?
Great question. Yes, and I think you have to take it seriously. So when you are, let's say in my profession of being out in the field, I am not, but most people get attuned to gas station food, quick hits, eating whatever they can when they can, because they're like, well, I'm working and I'm busy and I just need calories and I'll burn it off, which is so incorrect, because all the chemicals and processed food that's in that junk really gets into your body, and resetting yourself. And what I found, even at Equipped, of how much less I ate. Obviously, we're shrinking our belly, so our stomach's going to shrink a little bit. So that feeling of full isn't going to take as much. But if you stay in tune and just once you come off the fast of changing your lifestyle of eating habits, it's so much easier to stay on track compared to had Burger King yesterday and tomorrow I'm going to change my eating habits and just eat healthy. I've tried both.
Yeah.
I've experimented every which way back in our fitness journey of how it works so I could coach people better. And the fast definitely resets so that you can kind of wipe the blackboard clean and you can start over again. Make sure you have a plan when you do it. Just don't fast and then jump back into what you're doing because it was useless. Yes, you're going to put your body through a roller coaster and mentally you won. But if you're going to start something like that, why not start it at being a stepping stone to being something better? And it's not hard. It takes extra time. Like you're paying someone to do that, but to cook enough for leftovers so you can meal prep and have food packaged when you're out in the field. It's very easy to have 10 ounces of grilled chicken in a cooler somewhere that you munch on when you're hungry, or some of the other things. It's very easy to do. You just have to program yourself to do it. No different than being disciplined in running your business. You have to be disciplined in preparing for your health as well.
So what you're saying is I can't go get that Zaxby's bucket of chicken I've been watching the commercial for the last 2 days.
You can, but you may want to make sure that you have a second bathroom in the house.
That ad keeps popping up. It's the Zaxby's Surf and Turf, and I just cannot stop watching. I'm like, Megan, I've got to get that after this is done. I don't even know how to like ease out of it. I know how you break the fast is with the the small meal or whatever, but like, on the guide it says just go ahead and resume normal eating at noon or something. I think is what it says.
Again, if you want to change your lifestyle of eating, you're just going to incorporate better food. So great, go out to a restaurant. My plan is I go get a great steak. Give me
that's what I was
protein and iron. And give me, I'm not looking for fillers. Maybe broccoli or asparagus and a baked potato with butter. And again, that's after the easing back into some digestion in your body. Cold pressed juice, get some sugar back in your blood. The avocado, some good fats, and the olive oil, that's just going to help turn things back on. And then, I can't, a friend of mine texted in our group, the four of us, we need to go back out to dinner. And there's a great restaurant that we go to. And the ladies always get this, the salad looks phenomenal. It has everything in it but the kitchen sink. And Gino and I, last time we got ribeyes, I'm like, I can't wait for that steak, Gino, let's go. I can't wait. So I'm doing it, not just because you're doing it. I need the winter blues reset of getting back on track to eating healthier.
Okay. So you really just got to have a diet plan afterwards. Like it can look like whatever, I never planned on like cutting out certain things, but there are certain things I do want to cut out. Like I've had a few, funny story. So we have, what got me off, I started eating sugar again, right? Like, so what got me off of it was these neighbor kids are selling my favorite chocolate bars. They're called the PCA. They're like the school chocolate bars locally. It's like a fundraiser or whatever.
Sure.
And they just got adopted like 6 months ago next door, and they come by the house selling chocolate. I'm like, I can't not buy.
You can't say no.
So then it's in the house, But anyway, I'm off of it now. But I fell off the boat for a second, just because I had to buy the chocolate bars, from the recently adopted kids next door. I just had to. So anyway, I'm off sugar. That's kind of what I really plan on cutting out after the fast. So I don't know. I don't really have a diet plan though, per se. I probably need to get one rolling.
So I everything within reason. I mean, again, one of the coaches that was a good friend of ours, Chris, he said, all the coaches were really extreme on nutrition. And he said something that ran true way back when. He goes, Kevin, don't be the weirdo in the crowd. Don't go to a birthday party and not have cake.
Right.
Don't go to a wedding and not have their cake. Be human. Just be smart and everything within reason. So, the giving up of 100% sugar, well, that's something that I'm not going to do. I have in the past. I've done it. And did it gain me any more than where I am now? I don't think so. But again, I was running. I mean, I'm not going to say what my lowest body fat was, because that's very difficult to do. But I was running a 12 to 15% body fat, eating 5 meals a day, more calories and more volume than you could ever imagine. But you're just filling yourself with great products compared to the easy sugar highs that happened with fast foods, and the foods that are out there are crazy. So again, this is not about preaching that you need to change your diet. It's, as I changed my company motto to Turf Nutrition, we talk about it in our house as health and nutrition meals. They're not dietary. We don't say the word diet. Not that it's a bad word. I just don't like that energy of diet, because we're not diet. Because you can eat more calories of great foods and you're not doing a calorie restriction.
Yeah. I've never struggled with weight. It's always been I still want to put healthy things in my body, and I'm always trying to find the balance. I'll fall off the wagon the minute I go to a birthday party and there's cookies there or something. Then I just completely fall off. I just need to have the discipline to occasionally you can have it. I need to have boundaries of what I allow myself to have, because I don't. And it's how far is too far on the sugar spectrum or the fried food spectrum? Because I don't want to cut out fried food entirely. I love fried food. I like to eat it occasionally.
Yeah, absolutely.
But it's easy to overindulge yourself with everything that's out there. Fast food on every corner, gas stations everywhere. It's where's the balance,
And really, once your body tastes it, it craves it. But here's a correlation that may help you in your mind. You consume alcohol, right?
Yeah.
Very rarely. You're not a heavy
once a month, maybe. Yeah.
So if you think of that aspect into your sugar level, it's going to make your mind just think a little bit different, that you're not going to go out on a bender every night and have all kinds of alcohol and be able to function for your children. Yeah. If you just kind of think of it in the same way as, well, sugar, I'm just going to have a restriction on it. It doesn't mean once a month, but you have to build what is right for you for the amount that you want to consume during a certain amount of time. And then just adhere to that. It just gives you a marker to play off of.
Hey guys, if you're enjoying the show and you want to make sure you catch every episode, go ahead and smash that follow or subscribe button, and please consider leaving us a 5-star review. It really helps us connect with other listeners just like yourself. I really appreciate the support. Thanks. Hey landscaper, do you work hard all year for freedom but still feel as if your money just controls you? Unfortunately, because you can't give bookkeeping your full energy or focus, it just sits there most nights untouched, continually haunting you. Because your business demands your time elsewhere, you need a personalized bookkeeping solution dedicated to your industry. The Landscaping Bookkeeper is dedicated to giving you your time and peace back through our monthly bookkeeping service. You can begin this partnership with us today by going to www.thelandscapingbookkeeper.com and scheduling a 15-minute phone call. We want you to become a confident and informed business owner. We'll take care of your green so you can take care of theirs. Schedule a 15-minute call today at www.thelandscapingbookkeeper.com. Yeah. I think for most people, myself included, it's the convenience factor of everything, right? Just, I missed a meal. I can't make it home. Let's hit Burger King up or whatever. And then, it's easy to get in that habit. I think that's a lot of people. That's definitely me. Whereas, alcohol is a little different. You can't just be out, cutting yards and just stop in and start drinking and keep on.
It's just a mental thought of it.
Yeah, I got you. That makes a lot of sense. All right, so let's get rolling here. So we're going to be talking about finding ways to use your skills in a way that you actually enjoy it. So last week we talked about skills as kind of the foundational element of all the things we're going to be talking about and building an impact. But I want to I'm curious in finding the enjoyment of those skills, because there's a lot of people that have skills, but they don't really enjoy it. They're kind of depressed about it. They get stuck in something. I think that's a lot of people that probably went to college, myself included. So how do you find a way to marry, I guess necessity would be the right word, with what you actually like doing in life? Because it sounds like, you got into this industry out of necessity. I think a lot of people do.
Right.
Was it something that you just always enjoyed, or did you learn to enjoy it just or maybe now you're in turf nutrition, you like that, but you didn't necessarily like the snow removal and the maintenance side and everything. You kind of laughed at it, but yeah. So how do you balance that?
That's man, that's like a 3-part question, which is
Yeah,
really
sorry.
really no, it's awesome because we'll go back to the first part of yes, I did start out of necessity. There's no question about it. As we've talked about before, uneducated in the mainstream way, parents being divorced, mom moving to Florida when I was very young. I mean, I think I was 17 or 18 and I needed to produce for an apartment. So I was already doing landscaping from 14 on, and I just knew that I could produce money with it. I didn't know it would have been a career. I didn't know it was going to be long term by any means, but it was a necessity for me to pay my bills. Then you move on to the part that you find that the necessity can actually give you some pretty good residual when you become good at it, because not as many people wanted to get in this field when I was started, and that not everyone wanted to work outside in the harsh environments, and I didn't have a problem with that. Then I get into turf nutrition, and the skip between that was the management side of it and the snow removal. And it's funny that you say that, because prior to our call, I had to go, the car that I've been working on was due for emissions. So I went and had that tested. And then I drive right by our old building, Russo/Brightview. So I grab 2 coffees and I go and see the mechanic, Bob, who's awesome. And we just have coffee and shoot the breeze. And when you said snow removal, he's in there with, and I actually have a picture of all the repairs he has from the last couple snow events that I don't miss one bit, because maybe I wasn't doing the repairs. I would be the cheerleader to make sure that Bob stayed motivated to get things done, the helping to make sure the parts were sourced properly through him and where he's going to get them to make sure that we're up and running for the next event. I don't miss any of that. I mean, managing 80 people, just hearing him about the guys out in the field not being as astute as they were when they were under us, and damages that were caused, and really the equipment being used incorrectly, causing stupid repairs that he has to do. I walked out of there, I'm like, you know what? I feel great not having to deal with it. Being able to close the door behind me and walk away. That was a lot of work. That was more work for me than going out and doing 500,000 square feet in a day.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because you enjoy this. Yeah.
And at first I enjoyed the management side of it, but when you're managing that many people and then still having to deal with the financial end of it, the movement of the company forward or at the same level with the same profit margin, if not a little bit more, those are completely different thoughts that you have than most people have in a day-to-day business, or going to a job and checking out at 5 o'clock and going home. Completely different.
I think what I've learned is I can do anything I can do anything for a long period of time that I hate. But I think where people get bogged down is they'll do something they hate for 30 years. You know, I've always tried to say, hey, I can do something I hate for 5 years that's going to, segue into something I actually enjoy doing, and I'm going to use that foundation to carry over.
Right.
But it seems like there's a lot of people that just get stuck because they don't really know the next step to take, or, they'll do something I know a lot of people, they'll do something for 20, 30 years and they're just absolutely miserable at it. But it could have been a stepping stone. And so I think a lot of people get into this industry out of necessity. They end up not really, there's a lot of them that maybe don't like it, but they don't realize how that could be a stepping stone into what you're doing maybe, or, maybe doing higher end landscaping, or just some kind of valuable add-on services that we talk about. Just using that foundation that they built to carry on to something that they actually do enjoy doing, or delegating their way to a position where, hey, maybe I want to be more of a sales guy, or like face the company management, brand ambassador, that sort of thing. But I think a lot of guys just don't know the next step. So they get stuck for a long time. And then they're like, oh, this industry sucks. And you're like 20 years in and, you're hating your life. So, anyway, that's just been my experience of talking to people, really.
I think I couldn't agree more with that. And, we definitely, unfortunately, if you don't have the taste for entrepreneurship, you definitely will be stuck into what you're doing. And I'm not saying that there aren't great careers out there. There's phenomenal careers. I mean, no one in my family other than Stacy now owns a business. Nobody.
Yeah.
Distant cousin. But when you realize, and he left the education system of being a teacher to have his, but he's an electrician. It's a completely different mindset, and it's an education that you have to put forth. It's not like you can just quit your job or side hustle and be like, yep, I'm going to be an entrepreneur and run a business. There's a little bit more involved in it, and that's where we help on the lawn care launch on the green side of it. But it is not as difficult as people make it out to be. And when you realize the freedom that you have, and that doesn't mean you're going to be rich and driving Ferraris and Lamborghinis, but having the time that you want to do what you want to do, like you go to basketball games. Stacy and I, we've been home all winter together, and literally we could do what we want when we want, except for snowstorms and cold now, but it figures the 1 year that we start doing this. But, those things are worth money in itself, because, people say you only live once, and I'll say it differently. You only die once. So why not live while you're living? And you're only going to die one time. So sometimes the reward, even for us, is just being able to sit on the couch in the evening time, have dinner, and not have to worry about being up and punching in at 7:05 in the morning. That's a great feeling.
Yeah. Jonas Olson said it best. I liked one of his stories a while back from Pest Badger, and it was basically like the number one skill in entrepreneurship is being able to endure long periods where it appears like you're going nowhere. It's not the money.
Great.
It's not the skills. It was like a whole bunch of different stuff. It's like the endurance to keep going with no tangible results yet. And,
that's great.
I thought that was great. I immediately reshared it. I was like, yes, that's how we all feel. And like, for those of us that have been doing it for longer than, 5 years or whatever, but that 100% sums it up. And I think that's what separates a lot of the people that actually end up scaling these big companies is the endurance of it all. You don't realize what it takes. And I think that ties into the skills conversation too, is, because this is all about this series is all about using your skills to find your purpose. But if you don't know what it takes to get to the next level, it's easy to get stuck in the same loop. Because if you have a path forward, you have to kind of venture off out of your comfort zone and into the unknown. And that's where you get that uncomfortableness. But you don't necessarily experience it if you just stay in the same spot the whole time. So I'm really interested in tying the skills into the purpose. And it might be a little harder to find your purpose if you always hate what you're doing, or you don't have a path forward to actually achieve maybe a purpose or something like that.
I think I'm going to go real broad and cast a big net. We all feel as if we have a purpose is to provide. And whether that's for yourself, if you have a spouse, if you have kids, you want to provide. And having that mindset to provide is very important in your growth forward, because you have different responsibilities than when you're single compared to other people. And I think having those other people causes a problem of you won't take risks. It's harder to step out of your comfort zone to do something. That's why we work with quite a few younger people, which is amazing that they aren't married and don't have kids yet, where they really can be off to a run. And then you have some of these guys that we work with and gals that have all the commitments locked up. They are so nervous because they have X amount of bills due, they health insurance, all that crazy stuff. And I'm finding it more and more to where it's almost like that's a creation meant to be, to keep you locked in. No one wants you to look outside and explore. I'm a huge fan of Cody Sanchez. She copies us all the time. But some of her stuff is just out there crazy and she's just ranting, but she has some really, really great topics. And what's happening right now is, our boomers are waning away, and there's all these businesses that are going to close down. And you've seen it. I'm seeing it up here all over, where these big corporations are taking over that type of industry. And what we're starting to see, and I see it just in my little business, people want service again. They really, really do. Yeah. And if you can mentally understand that you are put forth more in this world than to just provide a paycheck for your family, that's not a bad thing. It really isn't. But when you can tie that to providing a paycheck for your family, starting to provide wealth that you never knew was possible, and serving other people all tied together, that's like a trifecta, very easy. And I think that becomes very addicting to where you're wanting to do that more and more, because the rewards are not always just financial. The rewards sometimes are a thank you, a handshake, a nice note, or a tip card that comes in from one of your clients. Those things, man, those propel you on for hours and hours and hours.
Yeah. I hope I am even saying what I need to say properly, because I feel like a space cadet today, like I said. But basically,
we're all there.
Basically what I mean is I think you can find purpose in anything, but so many people feel like a hamster in a wheel. And it's like, you might feel like you're in you might have a purpose, but it's like, deep down that you're built for something more. And that's kind of what I'm trying to get at, is like, how do you get off the wheel? Like you're providing for your family. That's amazing. But I think deep down, families as a whole want to do more for their community. And so that's kind of what I'm trying to get at with.
I'm with you. It's amazing just with our little business of how much we've helped our community. And we do it because it's the right thing to do, but it's amazing when we had our tragedy with Kyle, how our community came right back to us.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It was, and we didn't mean it for that. And we were, way humbled and like, oh my gosh, no. But people wanted to. They're like, listen, you are the epitome of helping people. It's our turn to help you now.
And I think that for all of human history, that's been your insurance. The reason we need insurance today is because everybody isolates themselves and nobody really does that anymore. So we have to buy this overpriced insurance because community used to be our insurance. Something bad happened to you at the village or whatever, the whole town rallies around you because they know you by name, you work together. Like, of course they're going to help you out. But now it's like everybody's just kind of isolated. And I'm not saying there's nobody that's going to help you out, but that's the main reason for insurance, in my opinion.
Correct. They're not going to help at the levels it used to happen. And those levels probably stopped in the 40s and 50s to where you could be self-sufficient on your network. And then it slowly waned away when the bigger factories and manufacturers came in. And I think the perfect example of this is the Amish community. I mean, they are the epitome of taking care of each other.
Yeah.
Someone's barn goes down, or 60 of them show up and they have a barn in 2 days, or a house problem or whatever. I'm not going to drive around in horse and buggy, but mentality, the way their ethics are, that's what's keeping their community intact.
And that's so much deeper than just money. It's all great to just give people money and help out and things that way. But when you're like actually there with them and working through that hard moment together, that's so much deeper than just the network that we live in today, where every problem is solved with money, essentially.
And that ties into the bond of coaching people properly within your business. It's more than just the money and reward. You have to understand and put the value within your company that this is a two-way street, and we're here to give and take from each other. And I'm here not only to give you a paycheck for the services rendered, but I'm here to mentally bring your morale up. You're going to do that with me, and we're going to grow together. And if you can have that theory, you're going to have a very successful business.
Yeah. I love it. Last thing I want to touch on is, as we're developing skills to take our business to the next level, I wanted to just go ahead and stress the importance of like just doing your best all the time. And how you can make whatever skill it is, even if you don't like doing it at the time. Maybe you're in maintenance and you want to move into application, but you need to build your maintenance routes up to support the cash flow for the next venture or whatever. Do it to the best of your ability and make your skill level a mile deep and then broaden it. I was taught that by Phil Town, that guy I talk about a lot, Rule 1 Investing. He says, just get hyper-focused on one skill, get it as deep as you possibly can. And then after that, it will start to widen from the base and you'll learn all these other skills that cross over. And it's been true in my life. I'm not saying I'm the most skilled person, but my little narrow view has definitely been get hyper-focused on something, broaden it. And Jordan Peterson talks about the same things. Like he said, you'll be surprised if you do your best on one specific thing and just go all in on it. Even if you don't like it for a little bit, just go all in on it. And I think it's so true. Like if you do your best on something that you're hating, that's going to carry over so many different ways in customer service and the way you assimilate your business and the way you time management, all that stuff. So yeah, I mean, I think there's a lot of people that are like, man, I wish I could get into this other field. Maybe it's green industry related or whatever. But yeah, just do your best and you'll be surprised at how much that carries over to other things.
With my years of experience, that rings very true, where we all have to pay our dues and our education of some way. And like you said, if you're put forth to do the bad job on the field or whatever you're going to do, if you do it to your best, it's going to teach many different things. One, it's the goal of producing an end product better than someone else. So that's going to mentally give you that drive that you want to really move forward within the company or within your own company. Two, it teaches you discipline and motivation to move into something else. And then three is allows you to understand the feeling that the person now that has to come and do that job behind you because you've moved up, how they're feeling. And it allows you to mentor and coach them better.
Yeah.
It's if you haven't experienced that, that's why, we talk about all the time, there's so many services out there that coach people in business or whatever, and they haven't had the experience. I was adamant about it at our gym that coaches, if they were going to be coaching a skill level and they could not perform it, let's say muscle up, bar muscle up, ring muscle up, double unders was when you jump rope and the rope passes twice underneath you. If the staff wasn't able to do those, they weren't going to be coaching that class, because you don't understand the fails that people are having if they're trying to get them. And it doesn't mean everyone in that class was looking to do a ring muscle up, but maybe the 2 or 3 that are there, you better be able to explain to them what it feels like and understand their failings of how they are doing it to correct it. It's no different in business. So I think the Asian are very popular. My brother, when he went to college, he was roommates with a guy from Japan, but his girlfriend was over here too, and they were going to school here. And every summer they would go back, and they knew what they were going to be in a position when they graduated, but they started in the janitorial and the mailroom, and they went, the Asian, at least in Japan, you have to go through like a 7-year apprenticeship to get to your position, to understand everything behind you. And their work value is amazing. So it's very important. So those low value jobs that you think of, you want to just turn everything, if you can turn, and it's hard, turn everything into a positive. The day's going to be better. The job's going to come out better. But trust me, your mind is capturing a lot of information that's going to help you be a better person, husband, father, and employee, employer.
Yeah. It's kind of similar to just, you're collecting data, kind of like the thing that we talk about, so valuable in business. You're doing it for yourself. So yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Well, Kev, we'll wrap that up here. I don't know if my brain can take much more with my spaciness.
Well, we're about 1,400 miles away, but man, I can't wait for you to have your meal. You're going to so enjoy that. I wish I could have it with you, because man, there'd be some big steaks on the table.
Right? Yeah, that'd be awesome. Well, next week we're going to be talking about learning a new skill, and maybe something you don't know much about it, and trying to get into it for the first time, because I know that can be intimidating. So we'll wrap this episode up, and we'll see you guys next week.